This day we are filled with an abundance of rich and wonderful texts that come to us as a community and ideally inspire us and move us beyond ourselves into a new place of being, new sight, new imagination. I am drawn to that idea of new and new imagination, especially in this Eastertide where we long to see hope made known and promise revealed and life restored. This Eastertide where we gather to see what God might do among us, surprising us, taking us by storm. And as we come, we hear first this wonderful story of Peter having a dream. Now, for us, this may not seem like such a big deal, but to a kosher Jewish man of his time and place, all of a sudden there is this understanding that the walls that have built a community have come down. That there is a new way of being in life together, and that there is a promise for people who normally have not fit in the way that the leaders have wanted them to come and be among them. We see how shellfish and cloved-foot animals all of a sudden become a symbol of welcome and inclusion. Now, for us as Christians in the 21st century, we don't tend to put ourselves in this category with the shellfish and the clovefoot animals. We tend to think this is our tradition and we've been here for generation upon generation. We don't realize that the vast majority of us sitting here are not Jewish, but are Gentiles. And would not be sitting here and would not have heard this message of hope and this message of promise had it not been for this dream that took shape over 1900 years ago. This dream of a broader community in which more and more would be welcome, in which life would be made known among the people. And over the course of the last number of decades, I've wondered again and again how many times God has used the dreams of God's people to say, let's make another addition to this house. Let's welcome a few more and make sure that they've got the living space and the room to breathe and feel comfortable in this community of faith. How many times has this new dream or imagination instilled something new in you or changed your very hearts, your very minds? And so we come, people filled with imagination and willing to dream, to think big, beyond all that could be. But then we encounter the second author, writing in the book of Revelation. And now, if you are like me, you hear the word Revelation, and right away, you're ready to shut down, or your guard goes up, and it's like enough already. Pastor, you don't have to go down that road. We've heard what it said, plenty from other people. But there is an incredible gift to this book. This book that in the Greek means apocalypse is named in that way. But the way that is the revealing, the sight being made known. And it comes to John of Patmos, a dreamer. Some might wonder if he had a little help in his dream with all of the visions that he has. But he is dreaming and wondering about what is possible for the churches. And many now today are framing this book of Revelation as a love letter to the churches, claiming them and challenging them to be new and renewed in who they are. And we come today and we get this glorious passage from this man who is a a prisoner in a penal colony in the Mediterranean. And he is saying, I believe in the midst of my despair, in the midst of the loss that I have seen all around me, in the midst of people in chains and broken lives, that God comes with a new vision, a new hope. And saying that the world might be renewed, that heaven might come on earth. And that's a dangerous thing. And yet we pray it every Sunday in the Lord's Prayer. Praying for God's kingdom to come on earth as in heaven. We are praying this promise that John puts before us in the book of Revelation, saying, we don't want to see the weeping and the illness and the brokenness. We don't want to see the oppression and the chains. We don't want to see nation rising against nation, pollution in our land or in our seas. We want to see a new way of being, a new promise. Your realm come on earth, O God, as it is in heaven. We are joining with Peter and with John, and we are challenging ourselves to dream a new dream. To live in a new way and to be a new and a renewed people. To be a new and revitalized community of faith. And then we land squarely with Jesus. Probably at one of the most tenuous times in his life and in his ministry. Having sat in on the rehearsal for Godspell yesterday, I am mindful of this moment in time and watching the people on the stage working to depict what happens as Jesus moves from the Last Supper into those final moments and final days. I saw the tears flowing. I felt my own heart swell up and my eyes get wet as I was sitting and watching. And then I looked around me, fearing that I was the only one, and saw that most everyone had tears in their eyes as they were singing this song about God dying. Oh God, you're dying. There is a power in saying that, and there's a power in knowing that today, as we hear these words of Jesus, he knows where his path is going. That he is challenging the world as it has been, and he is dreaming a new dream on behalf of all the people, and saying we are going to live and be in a new way. And it is that proclamation that comes to life, that reclaims us. The question becomes, what will be the founding, the guiding principle that continues to usher that dream and move us forward?